We all had our, and across the track was Monroe. We all had these little different areas, you know, but the block was the block. Everything you wanted, anything you wanted, you had to come to the block.
Yep. We had pool hall, we had dances. What we didn't have, you know, when I went to California, I lived in California a long time. Every time I came home to visit, that was the first place I wanted to pass before I went home, and I lived right around the corner, you know. So all these things, you know, seem like they're disappearing right before our eyes.
Let me show you something. How much time done changed. When I was a young man, I used to shine shoes for a living. Now some people say, man, shine shoes for a living. The money that people make right now per week on their job, I used to make that in a day or 2 days, shining shoes. But now people don't wear shoes hardly too much anymore. They wear tennis.
Yeah.
So that industry kind of like went out. And then for our entertainment a little bit, we used to like to shoot pool. There's no place, unless you go in the white area, you can find pool tables where still shoot pool.
Yeah.
Because in my day when I was young, you used to see pool was like a hustle to them. You know, we shoot for a dime, quarter, $1, $2, something like that. Because my first job at 17 years old, I was making $19 a week, and my wife was making, because I married at the age of 17, I was young, and my wife was making $12.50. Now, you tell that to these children today, they look at you like if you're stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
People making that an hour now.
That's right.
You know? And
that $12 went much further than the money that you make now.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, people that smoke, you could buy that for 25 cents.
A pack.
Our school lunch was either 6 cents to a dime, depending on what our family could afford when we went to school. That's what it was. Life just doesn't change so much, man.
Yeah. And it seemed like everybody wants to be different than what it really should be, you know. Our education system, we went to all black school, and we did good.
Right.
We did good, because at the time, those teachers could put a paddle on your butt.
Exactly.
You know? And then when we integrated, well, black people didn't want it, their white counterparts to spank their kids. White people didn't want black teachers to spank their kids, so they took all of that out, you know?
And I think that was something that was why the world is really changing.
Yeah.
Because children, they got real sassy. I don't even know how a teacher teach these days. Because the children talking about, you ain't my mama, you ain't my daddy. But how you going to learn something, you know?
Well, I don't think the education system is good like when we was coming up.
Then they took the prayer out of school.
One lady took the prayer out of school. She started going to the courts and stuff like this here and got it erased. And we all talk about prayers is out of school. Just like that one lady, a group of us should be able to go back to the Supreme Court or whatever and put it back in. Yeah, everybody got different religion, you know.
But there's only one God.
God. There's only one God, regardless how it go, you know. But you got different church, teach different gods and stuff like this here. But I say, if we want to do it, we can do it. But I think a lot of us don't have enough insight to go and do it, you know. And
they won't join together.
Yeah.
They talk about it, but they just talk. To put 10 people together and say, we're going to do this,
it's hard.
when it's going to come down, let's say we make a day. When that day going to come, one or two make sure. That's it.
Yeah. And then they have the meeting, and then after the meeting, they have a meeting, and down the road, they be having meeting individually and things like this here. But people used to help people, and you know who I see do that, the Hispanic. The Hispanic come here and they help each other. We used to be like that.
Exactly.
You know, we would help each other. The kids would go help the elderly people. If you was walking by the house and they needed something from the grocery store, they would call you. You'd go get it. Ain't doing that today, bruh. You know. So, and I'm talking with Jam Caesar, Big Daddy. He have the restaurant. Well, he had a restaurant. He still got it down on where the block used to be. You know, which they're trying to, like I say, make it La Place. What is La Place? I don't know. Oh, okay, we got a call coming in. Let's take that call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Brother Wallace, and good morning to your guest, Mr. James Big Daddy Caesar. Brother Wallace, I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, but you know, you're putting on a great show. I'm watching from a remote location. Too bad, you know, just as I am great with videography and directing, I should have been good with fixing on cars.
Yeah. Yes.
So I want to ask, great show, and I'm glad you guys are talking about community. We need more shows where we have the elders in the community come and talk about, and I don't mean to call you older, my brother, because I'm old myself.
I am old.
The elders need to give that wisdom, use these platforms to give that wisdom, and I'm glad what you said about people getting together. We don't have any unity in our community. People don't, and we don't coordinate with each other. Everybody want to be on top, everybody, and nobody want to be at the bottom. The problem is our young people looking at us and seeing how we not together in some cases, and in most cases, in the Lafayette, New Iberia, all these areas.
Mm-hmm.
So, and letting it, just say the enemies of the community destroy us by dividing us, and we've seen that in this past politics, my brother. We've seen how they divided the black community and the community in general. So how can y'all, two older brothers, as generational leaders, get our young people to be on board with us to come together and do things together? So I know I said a lot, but you know what? I'm going back to working on my car, and I'm gonna listen to your answer. Thank y'all so much, brothers.
All right.
I tell you, an answer I can give you, it's not going to really help. I got 5 children. I have mutual businesses. And I cannot get one to even take over. I try to teach them things from the old days to what's going on right now because time has changed, because they have the education. Mm-hmm. And I cannot get them involved. Not just it's a lot of children. I went by a guy called Alfred. He's a young guy. I like him very much. He has a barbershop. And I go to him to try to educate him on the things that's going on now, to help him out, and to help where he can help his kids and help a lot of other young generation people to get in business, to make life different for the next generation.
This is what's in our way right now.
They're all on the phone, TikTok. And I tell my daughter, all of them, instead of you watching them TikTok and all that, you need to be trying to look at things that's educational, business-wise, things like that. They're all distracted with all these new devices and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I believe, if I would have had some of these devices when I was young, I might have stayed in school. Mm-hmm. But I'm not prejudiced, but just to say, I couldn't see my future at that particular time and trying to finish school when I had to be twice or 3 times as good as a white boy to get the job.
Yeah. Oh.
I used to hustle and made more money. When I mean hustle, I mean like shining shoes, racking balls. I made more money than my school teacher did. Mm-hmm. And when I was a young man, I wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And through my experience in life, I'd have made a hell of a good lawyer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'd have made a good lawyer.
Well,
but education is part of the key. Mm-hmm. You have to have the education, and I would say street knowledge.
Right.
without the street knowledge, she's not going to make it because I see people, well, for example, I'm going to talk about me for an example. Can't talk about nobody else.
Right.
I go borrow money from the bank. Tell the lady I got no education, and they help me out. It's like the guy that showed me how to borrow for $250,000. Country Cuisine, when he built his building, he borrowed money with a group of people. I borrowed the money by myself with no education. And Ron and them used to have, they was all school teachers, already well educated people. So I'm going to call myself a dummy. If a dummy can do it by himself.
What an educated person could do.
Exactly.
But you see, when it come down to it, Putin, you know, we don't have white education. You know, white privilege. I'm gonna say white privilege, not white education. We got a good education, you know, because we got street education. We know people. People know us, you know. But a white guy tell me that all the time. He said, "Man, you never had white privilege. You know, you always had black privilege, and black privilege is different than white privilege."
Let me show you something exactly what you're talking about. In 1975, I opened up a liquor store. And when I opened up my liquor store, the white man would say, "Thank you, sir." I said, "You're not thanking me, you're thanking my money because I'm spending my money with you." Normally, I'm not going to say the word, but you would always call me out of my name.
Yeah. That's the way it was.
I learned so much in my life. I'm 79 years old. I learned so much. And I know I'm on my way out. But if God could just spare me another 20, 30 years, there's so much I learned. I would like to give it to a lot of young people.
Take it down, man. Take it down. You know, I know. We had it rough, bro. We had it rough, you know.
It hurt me to see young children talking about they done lived their life. At 16, 15 years old, they lived their life, and they're on killing spree. I can't understand it.
Me neither.
Can't understand it.
You know. But the thing of it is, you know, they got too many parents working 2 and 3 jobs and not able to raise their kids, you know.
Kid raising kids.
Kids raising themselves. That 1 hour mouse, that TV, those cell phone is raising them, and they listening to what those electronic devices is saying and not what a parent is saying. You know what I mean?
You see, kids raising kids. I raised kids. I was a kid myself when I got around 17.
Yeah.
I was just a kid, didn't know nothing. My grandmother, my grandfather, my aunts. When I mean my aunts, my great aunts, my grandmother's sisters and brothers, the older people, kept steering me the way I should go. And things I always keep dead in my mind. My grandmother told me once when I was a little boy, she said, learn how to take care of yourself. Because if I die today tomorrow, nobody's going to take care of you. So that stayed with me. So I always did work, and I'm going to say hustle because that's always going to be my vocabulary. I always did hustle. I did. Time to change. They don't pick up cans anymore. Well, they can still pick up cans. But in my time, I used to pick up soda water bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Milk bottles. When it was time to pick figs, you pick figs, pears, different fruits. I learned how to cook at an early age. And that's how I did open up a restaurant. I had a liquor store in 75. I always did do some kind of business of my own. My wife didn't want me to be in business for myself. She always wanted to hold a job. And I held the job for 10 years on a job I did not like. It was a good job for the railroad. And when me and my wife split up, she said, go back to work. I said, I'm going back to doing what I normally do. I can make more money on the streets, working and hustling part-time jobs, than I can make in a whole year working on the railroad.
Real. Mm-hmm.
Because I had to work where it was cold, where it was raining, and I hate cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to work where it's cold or raining and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When in the wintertime, I would never work. I work 12, 10 hours a day in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I made a lot of money. In wintertime, I lay back and relax.
Mm-hmm.
And when my wife was working, I'm going to go back a little bit further. When I got married, my wife was in the 11th grade. I sent her back to school to finish her high school education. When she came home from school, I was like the wife. She had a meal cooked. Mm-hmm. Whatever she needed was there for her. Mm-hmm. It's one thing, we split up, don't get me wrong, because everybody got their difference. Mm-hmm. But you can never say she missed a meal. All my children never missed a meal.
Yeah. Well, you know, y'all, this is the only man I know had a pavilion. He had a pavilion. It wasn't here in Lafayette.
It was in Lord's Hill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Couldn't get nobody to support it.
Yeah. They would rather go everywhere else but to your pavilion, you know. And when I went to it and seen it, I said, oh, man, Miss Janelle and I went there and checked it out because we wanted to get something there. And I can't remember exactly what it was.
You see, everybody got cliques.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Lafayette, but I'm in Lawtell. Mm-hmm. Everybody in Lawtell area, in those areas, they support each other. Well, at the time, they were supporting each other pretty good. Mm-hmm. St. Landing Parish supported itself pretty good. But being outside of Lafayette Parish, they called me a con man because the things I was doing, how I was doing it. I was giving free stuff away.
Yeah.
Guys was giving trail rides. I say, come to my place. That's how I try to promote it. Come to my place. I'm not going to charge you anything and give it. But I still couldn't get in the clique. Mm-hmm. You see, but that's the separation of blacks. Mm-hmm. I'm black, they're black.
Yes.
But I couldn't get their black clique.
Yeah. Well,
I could name some names, but I won't do that. Mm-hmm. But I could name some names. These people as well got been trying to get in their clique. I did everything in the world to get in their clique, but I couldn't. They did black.
Well, you see what happened. When I was coming up, a lot of time I go back and look at the things that I used to look at on TV. Amos and Andy fooled us because they was always trying to beat each other. So that always put us on the defense, you know. And as just like when we was coming up, we used to look at Roy Rogers. Everybody wanted a horse like Trigger, you know, because Trigger was a pretty horse. So everybody, when we played cowboys and Indians, nobody wanted to be the Indian. Everybody wanted to be the cowboy. Yeah, the cowboy, you know. So, but those kind of things, you know, we got to understand where we was in our past and where we was in our future, you know. And when you say borrow money, I tried to get a small businessman loan. I didn't want no, you wanted a $250,000. I wanted $1 million plus. And they sat there and told me, you will never have it because, first of all, you're too dark, you know. And I'm not that dark. I call myself mahogany. My skin looked like mahogany, you know, and stuff like this here. But because I was black and didn't know what I know today, you know, I don't put nothing nowhere without having a copy of it somewhere, bro, you know.
I'm going to show you something about business. Nobody black shows me business. Mm-hmm. I look at Poor Papa Joe, that's Joe Pantile. Mm-hmm. Bo B, he ran a pool hall. Mr. Francis Paul, he ran a club. Mm-hmm. I look at all these people that own their own business. Because I'm right in the mix. I was born and raised where everything was going on at. Mm-hmm. I learned a little bit from all of those people. Mm-hmm. Now, when I started doing concrete work, labor work. Mm-hmm. Now, the bright people. I'm gonna say the bright people, the mulatto, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
them. They was doing the bricklayer. They was doing plaster work. They would not show a dark man how to
Do that.
to do that. It was, you could count the guys that was dark in my complexion that could do bricklayer or cement work. Those that did, they learned the hard way. They would not let them in. If you would ask me certain questions, I can come up with a lot of things that I just can't remember, just come off them at hand. When I bought that $250,000, my girlfriend told me I couldn't, and a banker showed me how to do it. When I go to the bank right now, I form a corporation. It took me 3 years. 3 years. I try to ask everybody how to do it. Nobody had time to teach me. What I did, I fill out a blank. Send it. I said, fill out a paper. Send it to them. They sent it back to me. I did it incorrectly, and they gave me a paper showing me how to do it the correct way. Right now, when my corporation come into, now I'm gonna say default, but when it's gonna come into delinquent, I have to go to my banker, and she fill out all the paper for me to keep me in good standings.
We got another call coming in. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, guys. Pretty interesting what y'all talking about. It needs to be told.
Yes, yes, sir.
You know, and nobody has pictures of the block, all the places they have. You forgot about Mr. Abear with
Yeah.
his ice cream parlor.
The ice cream parlor. Yeah.
What you know about that? That was in the early 50s.
Well, they got Big Daddy, but I'm gonna call you Puddin'. That's how I know you.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about hustling and all that. When I didn't know how to play cards, and when the city cut 10 cents on a dollar, I said, man, how can they make money? 'Cause, you know, you talk about Bo B, Francis Paul, Mr. Herman. They used to have card games over there.
Correct.
So, and they did, like, I'm going to say Bo B did very well with cars and
The
clothes
pool.
and everything else he had.
The pool
He
hall.
didn't work a day in his life, you know?
Exactly.
They were like, at that time you could have hustled,
Yeah.
you know?
Let me show you something. Not to cut you off, but let me show you something. If you really try, now, right now you got to go to the bank with 2 years or 3 years funding, your
Income tax.
income tax or whatever. When I borrowed that $250,000, I never had a job. Never had a job. My last job that I really worked for was the railroad. Never had a job when I borrowed that $250,000. But the white man showed me how to do it. Without his help, I would have never did it. And he started my way through doing a lot of things without your paperwork. It could be done because they do it for the white. They might not never do it for you. And one thing that I learned too, they would never give you enough money to do what you want to do. Now, like I said, you can stay on the line. Now, I can talk about this man because I don't know if he's still living or not. Mr. Emil Reggie out of Crowley. I went to him to try to borrow some money. You know what he told me? Because all the ideas I had that particular time, because I'm going back some years now. He said, you're going to make too many black people rich if I give it to you and you show them the way.
Yeah, they didn't want
And I'm
it.
still trying to show them the way, and they still do not believe or understand.
Right. You know?
Now, Mr. Carter, one day you can come by me and tell me who you really are. When you talk about, because you got to be in my history, remember Mr. Abear.
Yeah.
That ice cream parlor, that was years, man, that was in the early 50s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right around the corner from your house.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, that's where everybody was coming on Sunday. You know, all the teenagers, you know, just like the Truman, not Truman Palace, what they had, the Mortons.
Yeah.
The Morton. Everybody, all the youngsters would hang around there on Sundays, and you know, we did well. Miss Hazel Fleming used to have hot tamale, hot tamales and stuff like this here. You know, it was a hustling town. You know. And,
I call it, they used to call
Well,
it.
you can call me that. You can call me that. That's good because you got to know me.
Between the back of the Sinclair station in Furman. But they used to rent rooms and stuff there.
Exactly.
A lot of
Yeah.
stores and people. And I forgot that club right across from the jazz room. The last time it was, before they tore it down, it was glass.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
I don't know what it was before.
that particular building used to be, Louis Benjamin.
yeah.
Louis Benjamin's grandfather had that building way before you talking about it, because that was kind of like, it used to be a pharmacy. Mister Burgess had that was a pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
Then they made it out of a club.
Yep. And then they made it out of a restaurant.
Then you see on that empty corner where the theater was, when Papa Joe had it, before he built a theater, it was a club, Cap Calloway, Duke Ellington. All these old people that in the music field all played there.
Mm-hmm.
They played in Lafayette at Chicken Shack number 1, Nyan Berry, Leo Rendezvous, Opelousas, the White Castle, I think the name, something like that. That was the 3 biggest club in the area.
Mm-hmm. What about Sam that was on the thruway?
Well, they were only mostly rent rooms.
Rooms. Mm-hmm. I thought the bottom was
Yeah, he had a club too, but that was on the other end of town.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, people would go there, but it's not like,
But traffic.
right.
Mm-hmm. So,
It's like, you forgot about Mr. Richards too?
yeah.
Listen,
On Washington Street.
now you see Mr. Richards too?
He raised a family. And you remember Raw Babylon?
That man had the
He had a
best
funeral
sausage.
home.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot the other guy.
Mr. Kinchin, Mr. Chester,
On Simcoe. I mean, yeah, not Simcoe.
St. John.
St. John Street.
Yeah.
Mr. Chester, man, you
Yeah.
got to be old like me. Because your son Gerald got killed in a car accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gerald, coming from Liberia.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Miss Ventura.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be old like me to remember all these things, man. Because you see, we couldn't. We had to we was limited to the places that we went. Well, I'm 79, and for you to remember these things, you got to be in my age, bro.
Well, you used to live on the right across from me there.
Not right across.
I used to live there.
You used to live.
I used to live there too.
Yeah.
They had 3 sharpshooter houses there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You see,
I live all over Lafayette.
I'm talking about when you were small.
Right. We lived over there.
He's talking about education, and back in the days, education was a plus if you finish high school.
Right.
But it wasn't a must like it is today.
Exactly.
You know, because you got to get a GD to either put your foot in the door to get a job.
Yeah.
Back in the days, if you knew somebody or just go out there, it was really manual labor. Whether you your hands, a shovel, stuff like that.
Exactly.
So you didn't need to read or write.
Exactly.
So they didn't let us do handle money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the old people that knew money, let's say my grandmother said she had a $20 bill, and she only knew her money just one way. And if you couldn't give it to her that way, she wouldn't accept it. So you see, it's the same way like I felt at that time. I ain't need no education. I'm making more money than my school teacher.
Yeah.
So what I need to get the education? I never thought the education would be like it is now.
Yeah. Well, you see, it's just like when we was coming up in education, they couldn't tell me I was going to be talking anywhere I want to talk because we had those dial tone phones, had party lines.
That's right.
And all of that. Now you could take a phone and go anywhere you want to go, and still talk.
And I'm still trying to learn how to work them phones now. I've got a little flip phone. I can't work them other phone.
Well, we can shake hands on that.
Yeah.
Another thing you talked about, Fightville and all that, and Milanos and stuff. There are a lot of guys. I'm gonna name some names. He used to go in Bordeaux, but his name was Richard. He had a painting company.
Yeah, he was from Macomb.
Yeah. No.
And he never showed us how to hold a brush.
Exactly.
No.
Walter Castile.
Correct.
Brigadier.
Correct.
Showed us how to hold a tripod.
Correct. Correct. That's